Hello, Grammar Supers, and welcome to another edition of the different grammar topics. Today we have a very important topic, which is actually related to TOEFL topics that are very common to find in different questions that are in the TOEFL exam. And this one is really simple, and actually it's one of the most like we can say basic ones, because we know that English is formed with different type of sentences, and today we're gonna see different phrases, and if we mention what a phrase is, we know that a phrase is a group of two or more words that are actually, or they have a meaning into the sentence, right? But well, before that, before we start thinking or writing about this topic. So let me thank YouTube for helping us with this video, and also Microsoft Whiteboard, which is a great tool that anybody can use. And StreamYard, which I think our top learn around 6 or 7. Actually, will be there. There will be 6. So we're just gonna see 6 of the topics or 6 of the phrases that are most common in English. But first of all, what is a phrase? Yes, we need to identify what that is. As I mentioned before, a phrase, it's a group of words. It's a group of words. A group of words that convey meaning within a sentence. Within a sentence. Let me erase this right very quickly. Within a sentence. Yes, if you remember, guys, if you are actually about to start an exam, or if you are you're about to get like a language exam, or if you are going to present or sit a very important exam, this can be helpful for you to gather a more um, a general idea of what you probably will find in a TOEFL exam, which is basically trying to find or trying to identify the errors in a sentence. Yes, or which phrases are not, or they don't in a particular question. Yes, but well, the first type of phrase is the noun phrase. Yes, it's any person, it can be a pronoun. Yes, but this noun phrase, the most important function, or the most important, or the purpose of it is giving more information or info about the noun. Yes, so thanks to this noun phrase, we're able to know or gather more information about the noun itself. Yes, and when we talk about noun, let's suppose it's a donkey. Yes, donkey. It can be a rob. It can be just about any animal. It can be the tiger. It can be the house. Yes, so these are the type of nouns that we're talking about. Yes, so when we are talking about a noun phrase, we are giving more information about that. Yes, for example, we can say, in this case, we can say, let's suppose we have her dress. Her dress is too large to wear. Yes, her dress is too large to wear. Yes, as you can see here, I have this sentence, and in the sentence, the noun itself would be dress. Yes, usually goes with a preposition it can be, I'm sorry, it can go using a pronoun. Yes. Well, in this case, will be a passive adjective. Yes. Noun phrase. And in a TOEFL exam, you probably will be asked to identify where the mistake is. Yes, so they can tell you where the mistake is, and they can probably will be right. They will probably writing a. They will probably underline this word, this one too, Z, and we're in here D. Yes, so you need to identify that. But if, for example, here it says her dress, right? For example, let's just imagine that we are in the TOEFL exam and we find out it says her dress is too large to wear. And in this case, the answer that you have to find, I mean, because it's a mistake to say her dress, because we always need to start. Uh, if I mean the adjective, the possessive adjectives, they go before the noun. So in this case, the answer will be A. So usually noun phrases, they are together with articles, right? For example, the house, articles. They also go along with quantifiers. Yes, they also go with demonstratives, like for example, these dress, right? That's it. Yes. Also they can go with adverbs too. Yes, possessive adjectives and also adverbs, right? Another example of a noun phrase for that can be, let's call it a lot of pollution is being given off by that company. And you see, so in here, my noun phrase or the noun phrase in this sentence, the noun phrase in this sentence will be a lot of pollution, right? A lot of pollution, you can see here. So I'm giving a little bit more information, as it says here, giving more information. Where is that information about the noun? The noun itself is would be pollution. But now I know it's a lot of pollution, right? So I am giving more information. Where is that information? The information about the pollution is being given off, right? So as you can see here, if you had, for example, in a TOEFL exam that you are, let's suppose you are being tested, you are identifying the errors in that sentence, and they give you this example. For example, many, right? They imagine you have many pollution is being. So of course, many pollution is a quantifier, but it's not appropriate here. Yes. So in a TOEFL exam, you need to be addressing that mistake. All right. Well, that's the end of the first noun phrase. Yes. Now the second one we're about to learn, it's the adjective phrase, and that's a very common one, right? Let me write it here. It says adjective phrase. The adjective phrase. What is the main purpose, or what's the purpose of having these adjectives, or what do they do so far? So, well, as just as the noun phrase, they describe, they describe or add more information or detail to a noun. When we talk about pronouns, we're talking about he, she, it, we, you, they, which are the personal pronouns. All right. So as I told you before, so the adjective phrase describe or add, right? It describes or adds. Let me write here. Adds more info or detail to a noun or pronoun. Yes. What do I mean by that? Yes. For example, let's write the following: the actor with long hair long hair is exercising. Is exercising. I'm sorry for the handwriting. It says the actor is with long hair. This is a noun. Long hair is exercising. Where is the adjective? What word is giving more information about the noun? In this case, would be long, right? You see, there is an adjective there. And since it's an adjective, it's a group of words that describe or add more information or detail to a noun. So it's this is included in the set, right? Just long hair. So it's giving information, right? It's describing the hair itself, right? It can be, for example, short or wavy, but in this case, is long. And that can be an example of an adjective phrase. Now, sometimes the adjective doesn't fit in the noun, and that's why you need to be able to identify it. Another example can be I ate some breaded breaded chicken tenders. Yeah, so as you can see, I ate some breaded chicken tenders. And where is our adjective phrase in here? So as you can see here, we are talking the noun itself, which is in plural, is tenders, right? But now I'm adding a little bit more information of what type of tenders, right? For those who love chicken tenders, because they not necessarily have to have the bread, right? So I can specify, or it can be roasted chicken tenders, or it can be another one, right? But in this case, I'm adding more information to it. It's breaded chicken tenders, all of it. All of this will be the adjective phrase. Adjective phrase, as you can see it here. Okay, well, that's our second adjective, our second type of phrase. Now, there are other ones, of course. We have the next one, which is the adverbs, right? The adverb phrase would be a very important one too in a TOEFL exam, where you have to identify if it's the right way to write that phrase. Yes, in this case will be adverb phrase, and the main purpose of the adverb phrase, just as the other one here, but there's a slight difference. Instead of the noun, what I'm describing, check this out. It's describe. This is extremely important. Describe or add, or it describes more detail to the verb, right? So as you can see, in difference to the other one, we add more information to the verb, not to the noun. Now we're talking about the action. Yes, one example can be, for example, let me just write up a few expressions, right? We know that they describe the verb, but usually they come with driving, for example, driving. He was driving at a very high speed. Yes, at a very high speed, right? Driving at a very high speed. That can be one example. And I'm adding more information to the verb itself, to the action. For example, he was talking, or he talked with him. Talk to him. Sorry. Here, let me write it again. Talked, talked to him in a very respectful way. Yeah, imagine you were talking to the principal, to your teacher, to anybody else, which is deserves to be respected. Okay, it says talk to him in a very respectful way. So as you can see here, I'm describing how the person was talking to that person, or how he talked, right? Talked in a respectful way. You see? So I'm describing or I'm adding more information to the action that I'm talking about, right? Long thing where he was walking all the way along the wall. Yeah. So those are adverb phrases. And as you can see, I'm describing or adding more detail to the verb and the actions. We need to be able to identify if it's the right way to write it. Yes. For example, in a TOEFL exam, so you probably will be tested to say instead of this is a preposition at a very high speed, maybe it says of a very, right? Driving of a very high speed, and you probably will have to, like, it doesn't sound well. Yeah, but you know that when you use the adverb, I mean the preposition at, that is the way we actually use it, or we express that the sentence, right, or that phrase. Yes, and this is not a proper to say, or in a very, for example, in a very high speed, which actually wouldn't be a proper to say. Okay, guys. Well, that's another type of adverb phrase, and we can also find them in these type of exams, which are the TOEFL one, which is a very isolated content you need to think of, and topics that might not you probably will never seen them in a regular English course. But well, we continue now. The next one, our next one is also a very important one. I think it's one of the most common ones that you're gonna find in the TOEFL test, which is actually the verb phrases. Yes, most of the questions will be directed to the correct use of the verb phrase for us, all the English learners, to manage the correct conjugation of the verbs. And that's why the verb phrases are a group of main verb, and helping verbs. We also call them auxiliary verbs, right? Helping verbs in a sentence. In a sentence. It's essential for us to identify what the main verb is. And I'm gonna give you a little trick so you can find it, right? So you can find what's the main verb in a sentence. But for example, here we have she she is writing a book. Yeah. So she is writing a book. Yes. Where is the main verb? So the main verb is basically, so you can have here, if you identify this one, we have two verbs here. It's is and we have writing. So how do you know it's the main verb, or how do you know which of these two verbs is the main verb? Well, if we just erase one of them, it probably will not make sense, right? For example, if I only say she is a book, right? It doesn't make any sense. That's not possible. How can she be a book? But if I say she writing a book, it probably makes a little bit more sense. Usually the main verb is the last one in the verb phrase. You see? So usually comes at the end. So we have this one here is the first one, and then the second verb, and we don't have any more verbs, right? So as you can see here, we can determine that the last one is and the helping verb. Let me write it here. In a TOEFL exam, they ask take, for example, let's suppose it says she has writing. She has writing a book. Well, in this case, will be not a proper to say. Yes, it's not conjugating. It's not conjugating properly. Yes, another sentence. Let's give another example so we can have this clear. For example, we have he has passed the TOEFL test. TOEFL test easily. Oh, there you go. I added a verb. So as you can see here, I have also an adverb in there. But well, I hope everybody gets it right. Like he passed the TOEFL test easily. But there's no such way of as passing unless they ask you to have a particular number, right? So now you're passing, but actually, a TOEFL test is not for passing. It's just to determine which level or how many points you have in your English competence, right? But anyway, let's suppose we have this sentence here. So, which is the helping verb and the main verb? So, as you can see here, I have the first verb is has. So, this one, and the second one is past, right? So, as I mentioned before, the main verb usually is the last one. So, in here, past is the last one. So, this is the main verb. Main verb. There you go. And the previous one is a helping verb. Helping verb. Now, in a TOEFL exam or in any other type of passing, like it says here, he has passed in the TOEFL, and that's not appropriate. That's not appropriate because passing shouldn't be with this type of helping verb. If you are using a has, you know that is a perfect form, and has the perfect form has the participle verb. That's why passing is not a participle. Yes, it's a gerund. Okay, and so let's give another example. So to finish this one, it's really important for us to grasp this phrase very well. For example, here they have been playing. They have been playing. They have been playing basketball since morning. Since morning. Yeah. So for those who like playing basketball, it says here they have been playing. So we have how many verbs do we have? Three of them. We have, we have been, and also we have playing. So based on what we have explained, what's the main verb in here? Exactly. The last one, right? It's main verb. It's playing. Yes, and the other two verbs, they are helping verbs. Yes, they are helping. They are helping the main verb. In other words, helping verbs. Find in a TOEFL exam or any probably will present perfect continuous. You need to use been as the participle, right? In participle, not with the present participle. We need to use the past participle. Awesome. I know you guys are grabbing it. Remember, taking notes is extremely important for us to continue learning, and that's what we are intended to do in here in this channel, to learn a little bit more. And the last ones, the last phrases, I'm going to write them together. Yes, we have the infinitive phrase, and the gerund phrase. Well, that will be the sixth one, right? So we have the two more phrases, but as you said there, infinitive comes from the word or from the verb in infinitive, and the gerund phrase comes from the verbs in gerund. So it's a phrase that has an infinitive, and the other one is the phrase that has a gerund. Yes. So how can I use or how can I see this type of sentence? For example, I have we tried to make orange juice, but they were old. They were old. Talking about the oranges, right? So the oranges were old. They were rotten. They were about to get ways to, right? Okay, so as you can see here, I'm using an infinitive phrase. And which is it? This, see here. So this before here, needs an infinitive form, right? So for that reason, we need to use it in that way. I cannot use another verb, like for example, we tried made or we tried making, right? The appropriate way to say it will be with an infinitive form. Sometimes we can even start a sentence with an infinitive phrase. So it's not really common. You probably will see it in different types of books or articles, right? For example, to 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 study before an exam is essential essential in a student's life. Okay, well, that's, I don't know if it applies for everyone, but some people don't study and actually they get really good scores, and you don't necessarily have to study before the exam, right? So study before an exam is essential in a student's life. So as you can see here, I started the sentence with an infinitive form, which is also valid, right? So this one becomes the subject of the sentence itself there. Okay, and what about gerund phrases? Yes, how can I use them? Like I also can use these ones at the beginning of a sentence. For example, I can say down all I know before the exam helps me study better. Help me study better here. Yeah, writing down all I know before the exam helps me study better. Actually, I don't know if you guys have seen this KWL chart. Yes, where you write all you know, and you write all your notes, all what you want to know, right? And then you write it down. That is a great strategy for us to start studying. Yes, and finally, the L means after, right? What you learned out of it. But anyway, that's a different strategy that we can actually talk about it later or in another video. Now in here it says writing down all I know. As you can see here, this is my gerund form. Yes, this is the gerund form, and also I can use them in past tense that are present gerunds, and also there are past ones, right? The past gerund, right? For example, let's call it given given the fact you're here, I will I will take you to the best restaurant. To the best. Yeah, they're writing there. So given the fact you're here, yeah, so we have here given the fact you are here, I will take you to the best restaurant. You see? So I'm using a participle in past or past participle at the beginning of the sentence. And in the first example, I'm using a participle in present. You see? All right, guys. Well, these are some of the most important phrases. As you can see here, we already mentioned some of them, which actually I describe information about words or a group of it's a group of words that give information about the verb. And we have the verb phrases, which actually talk about the actions themselves, and they have helping verbs. And we need to make sure that we know that is the correct helping verb and main verb in a TOEFL exam. And finally, the infinitive phrases and the gerund phrases, which usually they go together depending on the verb they have, and they also can use to start a sentence. All right. Well, guys, I hope you guys are doing excellent, and I hope you guys have found this video helpful for all of you. In case you were about to have an exam, or you are about to have an exam, or you are using this video to topic. And well, don't forget to subscribe. I hope you guys see you in the next video, and have a great day, Grammar Supers. Bye bye.